We are into the hashtag Fab Friday Challenge right here. This is Rhonda Lou Moxie, Rhonda Liebig in other scenarios. And I mean, that's how I live my everyday, is Rhonda Liebig. But when it comes to speaking and tenacity and getting out there just like you are working towards, I got challenged by Regina, and this is a really, really good one. These days, I can hear in my head, and tell me if you have these things going on for you. S-T-O-P, S-T-O-P, S-T-O-P. And it's like going in my brain. Stop, 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 stop. And this has been going on for years, and I had no idea. I did not know that there was something in my brain that was telling me to stop. Like, just stop. And in my brain, and in the way that I was waking up even in the morning, is I'd be afraid. I would just be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to start the day, or I have tons of things to do. I'm so scared. Have you ever felt like that before, where there's something that just slows you down? But there's all this stuff in the back of our brain that stops us from being creative. And that's the challenge. How do you get creative? How do you get creative when you have these things going in your head that are literally saying stop? So I'll tell you what I do with my STOP. I'll tell you what kind of resources I use. And the most important thing to unclog, and I'll give you that. I'm bringing in 20 years in the health industry. So I'm thinking about everything that we do. We clear, heal the body. 12 years in business, also 10 years in the accounting industry. CPA, and 10 years of waitressing and paying my way through school. How about that? So bring in all your gems and the stuff that you really want to bring in, that create you. All right. So what I think, just being in this area, and also coaching a lot, is that when we are trying to get into our creative mode. That's what Regina was asking. Like, when we have like all this, like trying to get in the heart center, trying to get in the creative mode, what is the thing that we need to look for? So I hope you like that quick little story I said, because is there something in your mind that you already notice that stops you? And you don't know what it is, but it's a feeling. Or you're starting to hear words. This is what I started with 12 years ago. I put this together. There's like a top 10 list. And it's like, are you sabotaging your wellness and cash vitality? And the number one thing that I see is, do you often use the phrase, I can't? And in a moment, I'll tell you how you can get this. But this is a top 10 list that I use quite a bit, even for myself. Anytime we hear ourselves say, I can't, or you blame it on something else or whatever, this is a good one. And I'm starting to put different layers in this too, because I have been using this, I'd say, for about 10 years. I've been doing retreats and stuff and been using that. When you start listening to the words that you're saying, or you can feel it in your body, doesn't matter what entryway, you know something's going wrong. That something is not releasing you and opening your heart and allowing you to be. I know that we're talking about our body, and we're talking about our head, and this is all us, but really, if we stay in the head, then that is the fight or flight scenario. But if we, and this is, I'm bringing you the latest research also, that if we learn to really talk to our heart, and how do we get there, and talk to our body about healing, about not holding the tightness, then that's when things start opening up. And then you can start hearing the words also. Because hearing the words is powerful. It's powerful. Because then you can start, I think of it like karate chopping. I taught kickboxing. The last time I was in the gym, I was teaching in the gym for years, for about 10 years. As a hoya, hiya. Like, you know that? I think of it as karate chopping. Whop, whop, whop. Oh, it makes me want to work out. So this is what I use. Now, I know that sometimes I can't hear the words, so sometimes you're not going to be able to hear the words, but you're just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So what I do is I go to cards. They're kind of fun, but sometimes I have some serious ones also. I go to my journal, and the journal may be something that is, I'm writing about just how I feel or how my body feels or what motivates me. It doesn't matter. If we treat everything all as one and we stop compartmentalizing and we feel the energy flow, and anything we write in here is going to tether on every emotion that we have, because as soon as we unclog something, whatever that is that's stopping us from being motivated, then good morning. Then if we stop this, then we will be able to move forward. And have you ever had that thing where you are in the moment where like you could feel something really just like so frustrating, and you don't know what it is, and you're going through your whole day, woohoo, Erica Kimball. And a shout out to my friend Mama. Hello, how are you doing, my friend? Good morning to you. So Erica, we are speaking about motivation and how you get in there when you're not feeling the creativity and you're working on it. You don't know what is going to happen because you're trying to get some stuff done. So if you believe that everything is one and that everything tethers together, you're going to notice if you do one thing that unclogs you, all of a sudden, whoosh, everything opens up. It's so cool. It's so cool. Me too, Erica. I really do love this topic because we are high creatives. And if you think about it that way, it's incredible because we do get stuck. And it's because we're stuck here in the cerebral. But when we open up the heart. So what I also do is I read. Now, this is one of my favorite books right now. I can just hold this book. I'll tell you who it is. I can just hold this book and all of a sudden I get these downloads because this is my excitement. What's a book that you're reading right now? I really like Ed Milet. I really do. I don't think he's for everybody, but he's kind of a well sought out speaker right now. He's talking here about how the mind works, how to get through things, and so it works for me. But I've been watching him for quite a few years now. But I get a book, journal, or card. Let's see what our card says. So I'm gonna pick a card for us. So what happens for the cards is I truly believe that everything is all as one, and this is how you build your business too. Is that you get in creative mode. Like when somebody wants to talk to you, don't go in that we're still talking creativity here because there's no such thing as sales anymore when you're heart-centered business. Let me share that with you, my friend. Breathe that in. So if somebody's talking to you, you're not like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to get on a call with them because I think I want to sell them on something. Oh, they need my services. Oh, I can't wait. You know how that feels when you go into a call like that? You know how that other person feels? Have you ever had that happen to you? Where somebody's doing that to you and you're like, oh, like wash it away from the heart. They're trying to sell me and all those things. If you use your cards, if you use your journal, if you use your book, and you do that daily, and you do that in a way where you give yourself time, you'll find that you'll start leaning in on these conversations. That's where business grows. We truly are, my friends, doing business with people that are our friends. There is no way that somebody will say yes to you if they don't like you and if they don't see themselves as being supported by you, or they get buyer's remorse. And you don't want anybody around that feels that way, that wants to exit out. It is the worst feeling. And I would do that at the beginning of my business stuff. I wouldn't get in my creative mode. I'd be in my head where I was like ready to pull somebody in for a sale. And how many people have I talked to this week? And I need to talk to this many people, and like that testosterone, which is really good to have because that's where we get our tenacity. We move things forward, but there's a layer of femininity that we're speaking about right here. Picking cards, writing a journal and book. That space is a sweet spot. So we're no longer in sales because we're using our creativity. We have more friends. We need that support. We need that support. Because if we have that support, system around us. Say somebody's just calling because they want to talk to you. And you're trying to sell them on something and they're like, I don't want to talk to that person anymore. They don't give me the juice that I want. So love on everybody. People will seek and they will share with you. And sometimes you'll get downloads. I need to ask this person to work with me. Would you like to? I see that you are doing this, this, and this. I would love to do that. And then they can say no. And you go, but I can see you want to. It might be because I don't have enough money. And you're like, but I know you want to. That's good enough. And you start the friendship. And who knows, maybe you get help from them. But this is where we want to really start so that you feel good, because in the mind, I'm ready to pick a card. In the mind, you're going to mess yourself up because it doesn't feel good doing it that way. And if it does, then you just keep going. This conversation isn't for you. Okay, let me pick a card. Because I believe that whatever happens, let's get curious, because it really means that it's there for us right now. So let's do it. Let's find a card here. This is how I pick them. What do we have here? Awareness. I think that's what we've been talking about. I am capital A awesome, and I refuse to pay attention to anything that makes me feel otherwise. Instead, I congratulate myself for every victory accomplishment. Teeny tiny steps in the right direction, because even the smallest positive action, like reading this affirmation card, that's why these are fun, is evidence that I care about keeping my sweet creativity juju juiced up. And isn't that just the awesomeness? You know why this card was perfect? It brought in creativity, which is really interesting. And capital A, awesome. We want to feel awesome. We don't want to feel like we're in sales anymore. We want to play and enjoy the juice. And I congratulate myself. I call this the fit process, the congratulating ourselves. We forget to celebrate. This is the last part. We forget to celebrate ourselves. And I call it the fit process. Focus, integrate, transform, the last part. Thrive. We forget to celebrate. So today, let's celebrate. Also focus, integrate, transform, thrive, fit. The Fit Solution, that was my first book 12 years ago. Time goes by. And I still love it, by the way. Okay, so I talked about this. Make sure you're able to start hearing the words that are in your mind. This is where we get to decide what we get to. Because remember, it's not like it's coming at us and pouring me and oh my goodness. It's more about, what do I got to learn? So if you want this top 10 list, you tell me, I'll send it to you. It's not even going to be an opt-in page. I don't want to do that. Are you sabotaging your wellness and cash vitality? I already asked you in the call here. Do you often use the phrase, I can't? Well, that's number one. But there's many more. And right now I'm adding more layers. I'm having my VA help me as I get in creative mode. So how am I going to get in creative mode? This is the last part. Boom, 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 boom. Use cards, journal, and book. Ba-bam. Love you. You have an insightful day. Take these little juicy things. Unclog yourself. Use the card, because you are awesome. Love you. Have an insightful day.